NANI?!
Hey guys, Sethly here, back with another Apex Legends video. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Now in this video, we're going to be covering some news we did recently get about skill-based matchmaking. But before I get into that, I did want to let you guys know that in my video I posted earlier today, I covered all of the changes they made to the Battle Pass today, as well as all the changes they are going to make to the Battle Pass next week. However, I forgot to mention that Apex did also release a new Twitch Prime skin today that will be out until the 28th of December. It is a skin for Horizon and it's called the Inverse Polarity. But my brother, who is also a YouTuber, just posted a video on the Twitch Prime skin and exactly how to redeem it, so make sure to check that out after this video. I'll link it down below and put it in the top right hand corner of the screen. But now let's get on to the good stuff. So as you guys know, recently Respawn did have all of their devs who worked on Season 7 gather together at a certain time on Reddit, and they answered a bunch of questions in a thread. Now most people were focusing on the Battle Pass since that was a major problem at that point in time, as well as a few other things. However, I noticed a lot of people didn't talk about the typical talking points like they used to, and that is obviously talking about crossplay and skill-based matchmaking. Now obviously nobody's really talking about crossplay too much anymore because it's already out in the game, as well as people haven't really been talking about skill-based matchmaking that much I've seen, because in my opinion personally, I haven't noticed too many problems with it, and in Season 7 it's worked pretty well for me ever since they added crossplay. I've actually really enjoyed the way I've been getting my matches, but make sure to let me know your thoughts if you guys have any other feelings about how skill-based matchmaking currently works in Season 7. But somebody on Reddit asked the devs a question saying, how does the skill-based matchmaking algorithm work? And when I went back through the AMA and I saw this, I knew I had to make a video since I haven't seen anybody talk about this, and everybody has always kind of wanted to know exactly how the skill-based matchmaking algorithm works in Apex Legends, and here we get a little bit of insight as well as news into the future of skill-based. Now, if you guys don't know who I'm talking about when I say Monster Clip, he is the lead design director at Respawn for Apex Legends, also known as Jason McCord. So he replied to that question with this. He said, as a game that requires 60 people to play, we prioritize making matches quickly over creating the quote-unquote perfect match. Now, this is mostly noticeable in small regions or late night sessions, and this is why he doesn't really identify their system as quote-unquote skill-based matchmaking. He went on to say, this is why you'll see some variance in who it is in your match. We assume you'd rather play a match than sit in a queue for 10 minutes. Now, in my opinion, I'm sure everybody can agree with that statement, unless you're a real tryhard and you want to get that perfect match and you're willing to wait 10 minutes for that. However, I think most people do want to get those matches in quickly, no matter what the lobby is. But they went on to say, this goes for ranked as well. We wait longer to make more fair matches here, but eventually we want all of our players to actually play, so we will merge ranks to start a game. Now, I'm sure we can all understand why they do this with rank. Of course, there's going to be some times where in certain ranks, in certain regions at certain times, there's going to be like nobody on to play. So of course, they will eventually have to merge different ranks or slightly higher ranks and slightly lower ranks into ranked matches just to be able to start the game and get that queue going. But as far as I can tell, or at least as far as I've seen in Season 7, that doesn't seem like too much of a problem in ranked currently. But Jason McCord went on to say, to be fair, I don't think this system is flawless and we are discussing improvements. Now, we have heard this quite a lot in the past. They typically don't tell us exactly what they're going to do with skill-based matchmaking. They just say that they are currently working on it. But honestly, every time I hear this, I think that is just great communication that they are continuing to be honest, at least as far as I can tell, that they really don't think the system is perfect right now. Of course, it's not going to be perfect, and they are still discussing improvements they could make. But Jason McCord went on to say a lot more. He said, I don't believe it's any secret that I won't share with you exactly how our matchmaking system works, which of course, we all know that people have their type of secrets, especially in game developing companies. But he went on to say, for a few reasons, which is exactly what I meant. He said it's probably exploitable if you tried hard enough, and even if it's not exploitable in any meaningful way, it doesn't mean players wouldn't try weird stuff to exploit it. Now I gotta say, Jason definitely had a really good point when he said that, because obviously I'm sure we all know that people have found ways to exploit the game through ranked, RP, all these different types type of strategies just to be able to cheat a little bit. So what would stop them from doing it if they knew exactly how the skill-based matchmaking system works? And even though they don't know how it currently works exactly, people are still finding ways to get around it and mess with it. So I definitely understand why he didn't want to tell us exactly how the system does currently work. But he did go on to say that it also changes often, so they're constantly changing the skill-based matchmaking system. He said they can make tweaks on the back end relatively quickly, and they don't broadcast those tweaks, so they don't let us know about them. But he went on to say, sometimes we are running a test to see if a particular tweak to the math makes players play longer or lowers queue times, etc. We don't broadcast changes so that our test can be untainted. Typical experimental guidelines, Caustic approved. So he is continuing to make common sense. I mean, that obviously wouldn't work if you're running a test and the people did know about exactly what you're testing in the system. They would definitely mess with the end results and data. So that does make sense. However, I still would like to know in the future exactly the changes they are making to the system, but he did go on to talk about skill-based a bit more. He said they also believe that the game is best when you're trying to play for quote-unquote for real, even in pubs. We've seen real data that shows people who lose or win too much have a much higher chance to stop playing forever. The game feels best when the pacing of wins comes more earned against players of similar skill. A common comment I see is that players don't want to sweat in pubs, but they also don't want to get steamrolled in pubs. You can't have both. Somebody's got to get steamrolled and somebody has to be sweaty to be able to steamroll those other people. He said if you have very tight skill-based matchmaking, you'll have sweaty matches because it's like a mirror match fight yourself boss fight. If you have no skill-based matchmaking, you might get some free kills, but someone is going to be much better than you in that lobby and you will definitely get steamrolled eventually. So he ended it off by saying, yeah, complicated question gets complicated answers. I hope it at least answers why you might get the less than perfect match every time, and that we are always working on trying to improve match quality and queue times. Now, although it isn't great news, they didn't tell us exactly what they have been changing and what they plan on changing, we did get some pretty good news about the skill-based matchmaking system currently. I personally think there aren't too many problems with it lately, at least that I have noticed, but I do also think it is amazing that they are currently discussing improvements they could make, because there is always room for improvement. But make sure to comment down below your thoughts on the current state of skill-based matchmaking in Apex Legends. But if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that like button. It really does help me out a ton. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that sub button and turn on the notification bell. Also, don't forget to check out my brother's video down in the description to see how to redeem that new Twitch Prime skin. But it's been your boy Sethly, and I'm out.